May it be possible that one of these technologies will host the world's first virtual society. In other words, a virtual place that is fully multiplayer, has its own culture, its own regional dialect, its own functioning government. Let's conceptualize digital cities.
You are watching Disrupt.
For our thought experiment, we need to start with a base level, a blank slate. Neither chaotic nor peaceful, this place is empty, no man's land. When you log in for the first time, all that can be seen is a compass and coordinates. This can be accessed through a phone, a computer, but the most immersive experience is through VR glasses. Within this no man's land, any individual person can claim a 3 kilometer by 3 kilometer land plot in which they can build anything. I mean, anything. See, this is the first of its kind in that it allows anyone to create something as simple as a house made of blocks to as complex as a fully scripted game. Other platforms have tried this, including virtual relay chat back in 2021, but they had issues with optimization across the devices. Somehow, this mystery game had figured it out. As long as a player could imagine, they could build it within the vast blank. If 2 players team up, they can claim a 6 kilometer by 6 kilometer land plot. If 3 people, a 9 kilometer, and so on and so on. The only hitch is, at least one person from the claim must check in at the center of the plot once every 24 hours. Otherwise, the entire place will slowly decay, 1 meter by 1 meter at a time, before it's reclaimed completely by the vast blank. What's weird about this game is that there's no company behind it. This entire platform was suddenly put on the Steam and Oculus store back in the year 2022. Without any direct link to a company or studio, some data miners tried to find out in what country the game's servers are hosted at. Turns out, the entire thing is decentralized, meaning the server's only as large as the current player base. For the first few months, the numbers were in the low tens. Then they steadily grew to the thousands as streamers recorded the chaos, which is what most of the platform was at that point. Mic spammers, giant Shrek avatars, all the worst parts of multiplayer games. But when you could find a group of people and hold down your plot, it was like holding on to a rock amidst the chaos of a storm. Throughout the years, hundreds of groups, including companies like IBM and RUI, capitalize on the platform, building their own digital plots within it. But those are full of corporate advertising. No, the place everyone spends their time at is a massive city called Eunomia.
Hey, what's up, gamers? As conscious humans, you and I see the world differently. Corporations will pay us directly from our computers in exchange for our opinion on digital surveys. For my next stunt, I will be purchasing a pack of dental floss picks with travel case. 12 count, color may vary. Very epic product right here. This item is 0.99 cents. To get this, I must first unlock the $1 Amazon gift card on swagbucks.com, which costs 160 SB. It took me 6 minutes to get 10 SB from this survey. There are also other jobs I can do, like downloading and playing games and apps to earn that bread. Oh wow, look at that. It looks like I have reached 160 SB epic gamer moment. Now that's what I call a hard day's work. I will now purchase the Plackers Micromint Dental Floss Picks with travel case. You can also make money online by turning on some music and filling out some surveys at swagbucks.com. And also, do not forget to floss.
Eunomia, named after the minor Greek goddess of law, is an 828 kilometer by 828 kilometer land plot, claimed by 106 founding members back in the year 2024. There are 3 levels to the city. Low levels, full of cheap player housing. It's easy to become a citizen here if you're a new user, which is what made the plot so successful. Plus, this district has some of the best entertainment you can find anywhere north of the Great Blank. The middle level is a fairly calm place with nice housing, but nosy neighbors. And the upper level, there's streamers, politicians, business people, But with enough hard work, a new player could start in the lower district and work their way up. It's all based on the amount of active hours spent within the plot. It's been dubbed the first virtual city by the media. It was given this title because 15% of its player base haven't logged out of it in over 2 real-world years, making it the most played land plot in the Great Blank and the most played VR game ever. Out of the original 106 founding members of Eunomia, 3 of them are confirmed to have died, and 10 branched off to claim new plots, so there's only 93 remaining. What do we do here? Pretty much everything. The Middle District holds schools that teach 1st through 12th grade, meaning people in foreign countries can access the world's best teachers from nearly any device. There's digital workspaces, entertainment, creative outlets, living and socialization quarters. There's order here. Order that is maintained via a digital government that is essentially
a digital oligarchy.
That is to say, there are a total of 9 parliament members at one time. To reduce corruption, an individual can only serve in parliament for a total of 3 years, after which virtual parliament elections are held in the city. Any player with owned or rented property in the city can decide to vote for who will decide things like should the city expand, what companies are allowed to advertise in city, what are the laws that govern the digital city, who, when, or why should a player be banished from the city. But that's only in one digital plot. If we travel towards the east, we find the city of Aether, a place that runs with the socialism framework. Or there's Boreas, towards the north, that has a mix of communism. There's even places without governments or regulations, chaotic areas. But the casual player just wants an accessible experience to find their tribe amidst the chaos of the Great Blank. But to grow and prosper within a society, it is expected that all players uphold the rules laid in place by the original plot founders. In Eunomia, the rules are simple. In the Metaverse, mic spamming falls under not chill. Here we have offender number 7568. He was reported to have mic spammed another player. In this case, an AIO, an artificial intelligence officer, sends this report off to Parliament. Parliament then reviews the many cases of the day by loading into digital footprints, basically a timeline that can be scrubbed going back in time of all recorded movements within the plot, pinpointing the exact time and place the offense occurred. Sure enough, offender number 7568 is guilty. He is now banished from Eunomia. He can never enter the plot again. Or for more nuanced offenses like economy phishing, a full digital court system is in place, wherein the offender must make their case for guilt or innocence. An elected judge maintains that order and is paid monthly via the plot's economy. In other districts, there's players creating and selling digital commodities, meaning there's real-world cash flowing in and out of this digital place. With a general system like this, I believe we'd see a mirror of the human psyche. Some people living fully virtual lives full of order, others of chaos, simply because it's a binary process. Outside of the borders, chaos. Inside of the borders, order.
And the balance found in between.
Last week I asked you, what are some ways we can reduce addiction to full immersion VR? Potches says, sell it to EA. Playing on the weekends will be an extra $30 per month. And T-Chris says, the problem with the question is that it presumes that addiction is inevitable in full immersion VR. We don't know what it feels like to experience that in any meaningful way as of yet. That said, as of this writing, there may be individuals that find themselves coming back to Beat Saber or VR Chat a little too much. We need to first understand the concept of addiction itself before anything else. In the context of said concept, VR would be no different from cocaine, alcohol, cigarettes, shopping, work, etc. What connects them is in how the addict uses them, in some cases attempting to get away from distress or pain that was left unsustained and left unresolved well before being introduced to these methods. Historically, that distress pain is usually from an emotional loss or trauma. Put more simply, VR was never going to be the addictive problem of the future to prepare for in the first place. The real problem already occurred. full immersion VR just happened to be the chosen option of a multitude of other addictive choices to use as the escape. Now that we know what the problem is, here's the solution. It comes from learning how not to escape from one's pain, but be with it. The attempt to escape from pain is what creates more pain, or guilt, and regret, and that's the reality with addiction. The question then becomes, how can people learn to be with their pain? Only when they sense compassion from someone that will allow them to experience their pain without having to run away from it. I know this because this is the reality I deal with every day. But if there is something we must reduce, it is to take away the power from values that favor instant relief, quick satisfaction, and distraction. Discourage each other from going for the quick getaway and instead learn how to be with ourselves instead. Thank you for your answers. This week's question: